Defense Department tells CBS News the man behind an attack at Afghanistan's Kabul airport has been killed by the Taliban.
Yeah, and what's noteworthy is officials say the U.S. was not involved in this operation. The White House has not released the name of the man killed, only calling him the mastermind behind the attack on Abbey Gate. That explosion during the final U.S. withdrawal back in 2021 killed 13 Americans and more than 100 Afghan civilians.
For more, let's bring in former U.S. National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. He's also a CBS News foreign policy and national security contributor. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Roxana. Hi, Errol. Great to be with you.
Hey there.
What more can you tell us about the dynamics of the operation in Afghanistan and how the U.S. came to find out that the ISIS leader had been killed?
Well, I'm not sure exactly how the report got to us, but this is to be expected, right? These are rival crime bosses, like rival mafia organizations between ISIS and Al Qaeda and the Taliban. I think what's important about this is that we don't get kind of a false sense of security, like the Taliban's looking out for us. I mean, it's pretty clear that the Taliban Al Qaeda relationship is as strong as ever. Based on our recent killing of Zawahiri, the head of Al Qaeda in Kabul, and the degree to which these organizations are intertwined, the Taliban and Al Qaeda, through the Haqqani network. And Siraj Haqqani is now the Minister of Interior of Afghanistan. And I think you've seen the recent reports finally acknowledging that Afghanistan is once again, a safe haven for terrorist organizations. So, I mean, hey, I'm glad he's dead. But I think what we ought to be is not get a false sense of security about the nature of the threat that's emanating from Afghanistan.
And HR, doesn't this kind of expose what's different when it comes to the U.S. relationship with Afghanistan now post-withdrawal? Because the news of this killing was gathered through U.S. intelligence. Even at CBS News, we had kind of some reports of it. We didn't want to go public until it was confirmed, whereas previously the U.S. would be very fast to say that an American enemy had been killed. How reliable then, considering the Taliban is now in control of Afghanistan, is the information coming out of Kabul, and how should we put it in that context?
It's not reliable, Errol. This whole idea that, you can fight terrorism from, over the horizon, it's kind of ridiculous, right? I mean, the terrorists are all trying to avoid being classified as targets. I mean, if you remember back to like even 2010, when our intelligence community said, oh, there's probably 50 to 100 Al Qaeda total in Afghanistan. That was completely wrong. But in 2015, we stumbled across the largest Al Qaeda training base that ever detected in Shorbak Farms in Afghanistan, and killed or captured 150 Al Qaeda. And guess what? That base was run by the Taliban. And so what do we hear? We hear people say, well, the Taliban is completely separate from Al Qaeda. That's ridiculous. They're intertwined. And when you look at the horrible attacks, the attack that occurred on Kabul airport in August that killed 19 servicemen and women, I mean, how did that happen? Okay, the attack occurred, and the attacker went through all these Taliban checkpoints. There were no Taliban killed on that day, and then when after our humiliating, really surrender and withdrawal from Afghanistan, an organization called Badr 313 took over the airport. Remember all the kitted out unit that came in there with their, with the night vision goggle mounts and the body armor and everything. That's an Al Qaeda brigade under the command of the Haqqanis, which is a branch of the Taliban. So I just think we have to stop the self-delusion. I mean, if we keep telling the stories we want to hear about the terrorist threat emanating from Afghanistan, and I think as a result, we're lapsing into complacency, the same kind of complacency that we had all the way up to September 10th, 2001.
Thanks so much, H.R. McMaster.
Thanks, HR. Great to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you too.